Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your hurricane outlook and discussion for Friday, September 21st, 2018, 1 week after Hurricane Florence made landfall in the Wrightsville Beach, Wilmington, North Carolina area. Recovery efforts still underway. Massive flooding continues. Very disruptive out there. It's something else. If you haven't been through it, you don't want to go through it. It's very, very disruptive. There's a lot of excitement that builds up ahead of time, no question about it. And I will always temper that. Excitement doesn't mean positive, okay? It's just a word. I don't have a better word. It's anxiety, yes, but just that word, excitement. If you were sitting in a cafe having a nice meal and an elephant burst through the window of the place, it would be exciting by definition. Does that make sense? And yet it's not necessarily positive. So you get all this build up, all this hoopla about it, everybody's talking about it, and that excitement builds in the atmosphere that something's coming that's very negative, and here we are. It's just, I'm still using mobile hotspots for internet, seeing all the power crews out there and people waiting for food and gas, and when it's your hometown, it hits close to home, let's put it that way. But things are good. Kids are happy. They're kind of bored, but we will get by. We are certainly better off here at my household than a lot of people near these rivers that are flooding to record levels. No doubt about it. Just want to put that into perspective. I'm doing fine. It's just interesting when it happens in your town, your community, your area. And so let's see what's happening. Lots of X's out there. Kind of weird to see that. Let's just look at them one by one. This one's probably going to develop into a hurricane at some point and just mill around over the subtropical Atlantic, piling up what are called ace points, energy expended and counted towards more of a scientific thing. This is somewhat the leftovers of Florence. Somebody put it an interesting way, that it has some of the DNA from Florence. It's kind of a little bit of Florence, kind of a little bit of the trough of low pressure that came off the front, but nevertheless not much of a chance for development, it does appear. And then down here, another system headed towards the Lesser Antilles that doesn't look too promising. This one, though, we need to watch carefully. Low latitude, luckily it's far out, but the pattern is probably going to change over here as this makes its way towards the Windward and Leeward Islands in about a week. So as we get into October, that'll be looming. Reminds me a lot of Matthew and where it got its start, and that's the extent of it. That's it. It started way low, way out off of Africa in early October. Other than that, no other similarities, so don't get worried yet. All right, let's look at there it is, the satellite loop here from tropicaltidbits.com. Great work from Levi Cowan, and more sinking motion in the atmosphere. So there's less overall convective activity out here, less thunderstorms, and that's a good thing. In fact, this is the system near Bermuda. There's Bermuda right there. And you see it's almost convection-free. So a lot of talk on social media. Florence is coming back, all that stuff. No, it is not. And even if it were to develop into a tropical storm, let's just pretend, and it came in through here and made landfall again, it might bring some more rain, and certainly that's not a welcome sight, but this is not going to regenerate. The atmosphere has too much sinking motion going on over here. Drying, sinking, suppressed, all those things are negative for tropical cyclones to develop. I don't care if the water temperature is 95 degrees. It doesn't help if the air is sinking like that, like a big hammer, just coming down on top, keeping the thunderstorms limited. Out here off the coast of Africa, we definitely need to watch this one. I've just forgotten which one is which in terms of the invest areas. We'll worry about that later. All right. So then here you can see the wind shear cutting this system off. And by the way, that's why we label them 98L, 97L, so forth and so on. And you know what? Let's just get it right. I try to pride myself on being accurate. So let's go to the University of Wisconsin site. We have 3 of them out there labeled. So this one 98L is the one near Bermuda. 97L is the one east of the islands. This one's 98 or 99. And then I guess this one up here that's not showing up, it's like right in here, that's 98. And I already screwed that up. No, that's 98. 97, 98, 99. And I guess this one hasn't been designated yet, the one swirling around up here. So that'll be back at 90L when the time comes. So anyway, it hasn't formed yet, but it's going to form out of this mess up here. That'll eventually be 90L. All right, whatever. So the good news is don't worry about this too much. Just focus over here on cleaning up, staying safe, and trying to have a good attitude in the face of just a horrible situation, especially the flooding, people trying to get home, check the damage, and in some places it is extensive. I will be very interested to see what kind of analyses are done with the wind field near landfall that maybe there's enough evidence to support that Florence was a Category 2 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. That is a wind scale, the Saffir-Simpson damage potential scale, hurricane scale. Maybe. We'll see. That's not up to me. I'll do what I can. I've got some anemometer data, but we'll have to look and see what evidence might support that. I saw some pretty high surge up at the Porter's Neck area today, the leftovers of the surge anyway. Some pretty extensive wind damage, but a lot of it looks like Category 1. 80, 90 miles per hour. Hard to say. That's why we need more instrumentation out there. All right, so a real quick look here at the GFS. This is the starting initial map. Here's the mid-Atlantic states. There's the Carolina coast, Florida. I'm just going to outline this and leave it up for you so we can easily depict what's what and where's where. And this is the impulse that we're watching near Bermuda, and there's Bermuda right there. And if I put this into motion, you see this just doesn't do that much. You notice that? Just not a lot of organization, very weak vorticity signature over the next 5 days. Sure, it drifts south enough to get over very warm water again, but the air is not allowing this. The atmosphere as a whole is not very conducive for this to develop. So while the impulse there does get closer and closer to the North Carolina coast, again, it's just going to be a low swirl, probably beautiful to see on satellite picture, but convection free, more than likely. All right, doesn't mean that it's 100% that it won't do anything, but you can see as well as I do the modeling, and none of the models are showing this doing much at all. So really, you guys out here on the Carolina coast and areas inland, don't worry about it. And if something changes, I'll tell you, and as well as the news media, the local media, and yes, they can be trusted, okay? Let's don't even get into that. You think about Jamie Arnold and Ed Piotrowski in the Carolinas, and in Wilmington, Eric Davis, the folks up in New Bern. Sadly, I don't know their names. I've lost track of them. WCTI got flooded out, so they were having to have a temporary station, I think, at Twin Rivers Mall. The folks in WRAL, in Raleigh, WTVD, and folks out of Charlotte, Brad Panovich, etc. And then me. I'm a geographer. I'm not a meteorologist, but we'll tell you, all right? So just relax. Don't worry about it. Ignore the social media BS that Florence Part 2 is coming. That is not true. I don't see it. So there you go. All right. River flooding, yes, I do see. All these purples are still in major flood stage. Luckily, they're going down. As you can see here, this is Kinston. I went up through Kinston last night on Highway 58, 258 that is, a slight detour, and I could see along 70 in Kinston, the Neuse River coming up. It reminded me a lot of Matthew. As you can see as I mouse back over that, luckily we are below the level from Matthew 2 years ago roughly, so that's good. Every foot, every inch matters, and well, it's only a couple of feet lower. Well, believe me, that makes a huge difference. Really. So you'll take every inch you can get. Goldsboro, same thing, falling. Up here in Chinkapin area, falling. Down here near Burgaw, falling, but still above the record. And this is why I-40 is going to be closed for a while. We got to get this down, and it's just going to take some time. This is really interesting in Wilmington. Look at this. This is the tide gauge, and you see the ups and downs with the tides there. And I was looking at it, I was like, is this right? Look out there coming up Saturday into Sunday, if I can see that correctly from here. Approaching the, let's just click on it so we can see it on a page by itself. Please, are you going to do that for me? Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Yes, it is. Good. So you see this coming up right here, that's the record. And I think the record, unless they haven't updated this, the record is Florence. So we're going to have this high tide cycle coming. These are your highs, your lows, your highs, your lows. But look at that right there this weekend. So down in Wilmington, in downtown, I may put a GoPro down there and just record the heck out of that. And it worked in Surf City, which you'll see later. That could be really something. So I'm gonna work on that. It could be really important for research, etc. So also, if you're in downtown Wilmington, it's going to get real close to 8 feet there. The forecast, 7.8 feet Saturday evening. So just be mindful of that in the downtown Wilmington area. Elsewhere, the really bad news still is down here in the Conway area in Horry County near Myrtle Beach, just inland from Myrtle Beach. Whoops, we need the pointer. Right there, Waccamaw River near Conway, still rising, will eclipse the record and beat it by at least 5 feet. And then it's going to stay that way through next week. Just a terrible situation here in the Conway area. A lot of flooding in Nichols and Longs and other small communities along the Waccamaw, as well as other rivers in here. We can look at these, a Little PD, Galavant's Ferry. Peaking now, will be coming down. And then up here, the PD River at PD, going to plateau below the record, but still in major flood stage. Real quick, to get to this map, if you want to look at it yourself, go to weather.gov, right there, weather.gov, and then tap on or click on rivers, lakes, rainfall, and then you can just scroll, select North Carolina in this case, or South Carolina, and then you get a nice map where you can mouse over what you need, and you can click on the various gauges. My limited broadband here is doing the best it can. First world problems, right? So listen, I need your help with something. One of you out there, somebody watching, knows how to fabricate. And I don't mean make up BS. I mean with a torch and a pitchfork. No, I mean fabrication, right? Metallurgy, whatever. See, I don't know, because that's not what I do. That's why I turn to people for help. I need a steel saddle to mount my wind equipment on, much easier than how I'm doing it now. I've got this incredible wind data capability to collect wind data. I don't have an easy way to mount the stuff. I want to be able to mount this on the sides of bridges. We have so many bridges and overpasses along the coast that this is the solution. So what I need is somebody out there to please make and email me. I'll tell you my email in a minute, and then ship to me. I need you to donate this to me, please. It'll help the greater good. It's about 8 inches wide, 18 inches tall, and about 2 feet long. And it would look like a saddle made out of no more than a 1/4 inch thick steel. It's going to weigh a lot, but I think you see where I'm going with this. Maybe thinner steel than that, that's fine. But you basically are going to take a long piece of steel and then fold it on your press. At least I know generally how this works. I just don't have one. You're going to fold it in 2 places so that it looks like a big staple or a big saddle. And it's going to be 8 inches wide so that you could lower it down on a bridge railing. And there'll be a little give back and forth, but we could put a towel or one of those movers blankets and create kind of a shim and get some of that give out of there. But you know this thing's going to weigh a lot. And the wind won't be able to move it. The surge wouldn't be able to move it as easy. You never say never with surge. And it'll give me something that I can easily plop over the side of a bridge. I'll attach the mast in the middle. But if someone out there has a shop that you could make one of these, we can start with one, see how it works. If you can do 2, that's even better. Probably only cost you $100 to ship it, UPS ground. I would really appreciate it, and it could go towards really helping the collection of data. I'll attach the mast in the center and all that stuff myself. I've got the tools to do that, but I don't have any way to bend steel. Who does, right? Unless you're Clark Kent. And I'm Mark Sudduth and not Clark Kent, so I can't do it. I need your help. All right, so again, try to picture this. I don't have any 3D CAD tools, but again, 8 inches wide. You can picture that it would, okay, yeah, that'll fit over a bridge railing, to varying widths. Some of them are 4 inches, some of them are 6 inches or whatever. And then about 18 inches tall along the sides, and then 2 feet long. Boom, you got yourself a steel saddle, if you will, and I'll put a mast like right in the middle of it here. I'll attach the mast. It's a 1-inch mast that'll go right there, and I'll get a flange and bolt it down real well. That way I can detach it when I'm done, and the equipment can sit up here with it sideways, the little box right there, and the anemometer would be up here, the propeller, there's the aero vane fin, la-da-da-da-da. There you go. See? So this is like a side view of it, all right? And like it would sit right over the bridge railing here like that, and then here's your road bed. There's the lines of the bridge. Can you picture that? I hope so. So email me if you can make one of these, or you know somebody that'll do it. I have no budget for it, all right? I got to recover, financially from this. My family evacuated. Again, no sob story. I'm just telling you the facts. I need somebody to donate this, please. All I need is a piece of steel bent in 2 spots at a 90-degree angle, and if you can ship it to me, email me, and we can arrange it. My email is Hurmark, Hurrmark, Hurmark@gmail.com, Hurmark@gmail.com, Hurmark@gmail.com. I would appreciate it, and I will, with your permission, tell everybody who did it, okay? And you'll get a big round of applause, and you will literally help the science. 1, for sure, to test. 2, later on, if you send me another one, that'd be great. But we can just start with 1. That'll be muy bueno. Alrighty? That is it from me for today. We're going to keep an eye on things. We're kind of in this between period. Not much happening, which is good. Probably going to ramp up later as we get into October. But for now, it's recovery time, and people are tired, and I know I am, and we're trying to do our best here in the Carolinas. I'm Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. Thank you so much for your time, your attention, your support, all the good vibes you've been sending my way, my family and I. We all appreciate it very much. And that being said, I'll be back with more for you tomorrow.